In recent years, the global landscape has witnessed a surge in debates and discussions surrounding the treatment of Muslim expatriates. From the bustling streets of New Delhi to the serene fjords of Norway, the question of whether Muslim expats face systemic discrimination is more pertinent than ever. This subject has garnered significant attention, not just in political circles, but also among ordinary citizens concerned about human rights and equality. The term ban might seem drastic, evoking images of outright prohibition and exclusion. However, the reality is often more nuanced. In many cases, these bans are not explicit but manifest through policies and practices that disproportionately affect Muslim expats. Understanding these subtleties is crucial for comprehending the full scope of what's happening globally. As we delve into this topic, it's essential to recognize that the experiences of Muslim expats can vary significantly from one country to another. Some nations have long histories of multiculturalism and tolerance, while others are grappling with rising nationalism and xenophobia. Welcome back to Travel Divide, and today we try and unpack these complexities, providing a clearer picture of the global situation. The past decade has seen a spate of controversies that have brought the issue of Muslim expat bans to the forefront. In countries like India and France, government policies have sparked widespread debate and, in some cases, protest. India, for instance, saw international condemnation over its Citizenship Amendment Act, which many critics argue discriminates against Muslims. Similarly, France's policies on secularism and religious symbols have been criticized for marginalizing Muslim communities. These developments are not isolated incidents but part of a broader trend that includes countries as diverse as China, Denmark, and the United States. Each of these nations has implemented measures that, intentionally or otherwise, make life more challenging for Muslim expats. The impact of these policies is often profound, affecting everything from employment opportunities to personal freedoms. The controversies have also had a significant impact on public discourse, with media outlets and social platforms becoming battlegrounds for differing opinions. While some argue that these measures are necessary for national security and social cohesion, others contend that they are thinly veiled attempts at discrimination. The resulting polarization highlights the importance of a balanced and informed discussion on this sensitive issue. As we move forward, it's imperative to dissect these controversies, understand their origins, and examine their real-world implications for Muslim expats. Only through such a comprehensive analysis can we hope to foster a more inclusive and equitable global society. Recent times have shown a noticeable shift. Reports suggest increasing difficulties for Muslim expatriates. These are not always formal bans, but subtle obstacles. This trend affects several countries and warrants closer examination. Human rights organizations are monitoring these developments closely. When we discuss bans in this context, it is crucial to clarify what is meant. The term often evokes images of absolute, legally enforced prohibitions on entry or residence. However, the reality on the ground can be far more nuanced. Frequently, these are not formal decrees explicitly targeting Muslim expats. Instead, a series of interconnected policies and practices can create significant hurdles for them. These hurdles can manifest in several practical ways. For example, individuals may encounter stricter visa application processes. Applications for work permits might face more intense scrutiny than before. The procedures for family reunification can also become more complicated and drawn out for certain groups. These are tangible barriers that can significantly impact an expat's ability to settle or remain in a country. Beyond bureaucratic obstacles, the general atmosphere can also change. In some instances, political discourse and media narratives may become more hostile or suspicious towards Muslim communities. This shift in rhetoric can contribute to an unwelcoming environment. Such an atmosphere can affect daily life, social integration, and the overall sense of belonging for expats and their families in their host country. These subtle shifts, administrative burdens, and changes in public discourse are important to recognize. Cumulatively, they can act as powerful deterrents. Muslim professionals and their families might reconsider their plans or choose alternative destinations where they feel more secure and welcomed. The overall effect of these implicit measures can, in practice, be very similar to that of an explicit ban, shaping migration patterns. India's Citizenship Amendment Act, or CAA, became law in 2019. This act offers a path to Indian citizenship for religious minorities. These minorities must have fled persecution from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. However, the CAA notably excludes Muslims from this provision. This exclusion has sparked significant controversy within India. It has also drawn criticism from international observers. Many worry about its discriminatory nature. They fear it undermines India's secular foundations. The government states the law protects vulnerable groups, but critics argue it redefines citizenship along religious lines. The CAA has direct implications for Muslim residents. It also affects potential Muslim expatriates considering India. Concerns have been raised about creating a climate of fear. There is worry about increased religious polarization in the country. Muslim communities feel their status is being questioned. This is particularly true for those without extensive documentation. The law, combined with a proposed National Register of Citizens, has heightened anxieties. Many fear it could render some Indian Muslims stateless. This situation makes India a complex place for some. The future for certain expat groups seems uncertain. The Indian government has defended the CAA robustly. It maintains that the law is an internal matter. Officials state it is designed to provide sanctuary. They say it helps those facing religious persecution in neighboring Islamic majority states. The government also assures that the CAA does not affect existing Indian citizens. This includes Indian Muslims, whose rights are constitutionally protected. However, these assurances have not fully quelled the widespread concerns. The international community continues to watch developments closely. The debate highlights deep divisions over national identity. It also raises questions about minority rights in India. For Muslim expatriates, the situation remains complex. The CAA itself does not directly ban expats, but the surrounding political and social climate is a factor. It can influence decisions about working or living in India. Reports suggest a more challenging environment for some. This includes difficulties in visa processes or renewals. Increased scrutiny is sometimes reported by Muslim visitors. The perception of India as a welcoming destination is being tested. These developments contribute to a sense of unease. They add to the global pattern of challenges for Muslim expats. China's treatment of its Uyghur Muslim minority is a major global concern. This ethnic group predominantly lives in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. Reports from this region are deeply troubling. They detail widespread human rights abuses by authorities. These include mass surveillance and detention in re-education camps. Forced labor and restrictions on religious freedom are also reported. China describes these camps as vocational training centers. It says they are necessary to combat extremism and alleviate poverty. However, testimonies from former detainees paint a different picture. They speak of indoctrination and harsh conditions. The situation in Xinjiang has implications beyond its borders. It affects how China is perceived by Muslim-majority countries. It also impacts Muslim expatriates living and working in China. There is a heightened sense of scrutiny for some. Muslims, particularly those from certain countries, may face extra checks. Their religious activities might be monitored more closely. This can create an environment of caution and self-censorship. The Chinese government maintains tight control over information. This makes it difficult to get a full picture of the situation. But the available evidence points to significant restrictions. For Muslim expatriates not directly from Xinjiang, the impact varies. Many Muslims live and work in China without direct interference. This is especially true in major international business hubs. However, the overall atmosphere can be unsettling. News about Xinjiang can create a sense of unease. There may be concerns about association or perceived sympathies. The broad definition of extremism used by authorities is a worry. It could potentially be applied to ordinary religious practices. This leads some expats to be very discreet about their faith. They may avoid public displays of religious identity. The Chinese government strongly denies accusations of religious persecution. It insists its policies in Xinjiang target terrorism and separatism only. Officials highlight economic development in the region. They point to improved living standards for many residents. However, these claims are contested by human rights groups. They argue development comes at the cost of cultural and religious identity. The lack of independent access to Xinjiang makes verification difficult. The situation creates a chilling effect for open discussion. Muslim expats must navigate this complex and sensitive environment. This adds another layer to the challenges they might face globally. Denmark has tightened its immigration policies significantly. This trend has developed over the past 2 decades. Successive governments have introduced stricter rules. These rules affect asylum seekers and family reunification. They also impact the integration of immigrants. Much of the political discourse has focused on non-Western immigrants. Muslim communities have often been central to these debates. Concerns about social cohesion and Danish values are frequently raised. This has led to policies that some see as discriminatory. The aim, according to policymakers, is to ensure successful integration. One of the most controversial policies is the ghetto laws. Introduced in 2018, these laws target disadvantaged residential areas. Many of these areas have a high proportion of non-Western immigrants. The laws include measures like mandatory daycare for children. They also involve increased penalties for certain crimes committed in these zones. The official goal is to break down social segregation and to promote employment and Danish language proficiency. However, critics argue the laws stigmatize residents. They say it creates a two-tier system of justice, and that it unfairly targets minority ethnic groups, including Muslims. The Danish government defends its approach as necessary. It argues that parallel societies pose a threat to Danish cohesion. Officials believe firm measures are needed to uphold Danish values. They also want to ensure everyone participates in society and the workforce. The term ghetto itself has been highly controversial. While officially replaced, the policies remain largely in place. These policies have sparked debate both within Denmark and internationally. Human rights organizations have expressed concerns. They worry about potential discrimination and social exclusion. The long-term impact on community relations is yet to be seen. For Muslim expatriates, Denmark can present a challenging environment. The public debate on immigration and Islam is often quite harsh. This can make it difficult to feel fully welcomed or integrated. While Denmark offers a high quality of life, social aspects are key. Expats may encounter difficulties due to their religious background. This could be in finding housing or in social interactions. The focus on assimilation can be intense. Professionals might weigh economic benefits against societal pressures. The Danish approach highlights a common European dilemma. Balancing national identity with multicultural realities remains a test. Norway, like its Nordic neighbors, is known for its welfare state. It offers a high standard of living and social benefits. Historically, it has been seen as a relatively open and tolerant society. However, immigration has brought new social dynamics. Debates around integration have become more prominent. The place of Islam and Muslim communities is part of this discussion. While not as stringent as Denmark, Norway has its own challenges. There are ongoing discussions about religious expression and about the role of cultural traditions in a modern Norwegian society. These topics sometimes create friction and unease. One area of debate has been religious symbols in public life. For instance, the permissibility of wearing the hijab. This has been discussed for police uniforms or in schools. While Norway does not have a general ban like France, debates persist. Some political parties advocate for stricter controls on immigration. They also call for stronger assimilation requirements for newcomers. Anti-immigrant rhetoric, though not mainstream, does exist. It can contribute to a feeling of being unwelcome for some Muslims. The government generally promotes integration through participation. This includes language training and employment initiatives. The Norwegian approach aims to balance rights and responsibilities. Freedom of religion is a constitutionally protected right. However, there is an expectation that immigrants will adapt. They are expected to learn the Norwegian language and respect core values. Most Muslim expats and immigrants in Norway integrate successfully. They contribute to Norwegian society in various fields. Yet, underlying tensions can surface periodically. Media portrayals of Islam can sometimes be negative. This can affect public perception and social interactions. Creating a truly inclusive society remains an ongoing effort. For Muslim professionals considering Norway, prospects are generally good. The economy is strong, and skills are often in demand. However, social integration requires effort from both sides. Expats may need to navigate cultural nuances carefully. Understanding Norwegian workplace culture is important. While overt discrimination is illegal, subtle biases can exist. Some report feeling that their religious identity is scrutinized. The experience can vary greatly depending on location and social circles. Norway continues to grapple with defining its multicultural identity. This process influences the daily lives of its Muslim residents. The United States has a long history of immigration. It has traditionally been seen as a nation of immigrants. However, policies and attitudes towards newcomers have fluctuated. In recent years, Muslim expats and immigrants have faced specific challenges. The aftermath of the September 11th attacks brought increased scrutiny. This scrutiny often focused on individuals from Muslim-majority countries. Concerns about national security led to new surveillance measures. It also led to stricter visa processes for certain nationalities. This created an atmosphere of suspicion for many Muslim communities. It impacted their sense of belonging and security in the U.S. A significant development was the 2017 Executive Order on Travel, often referred to as the travel ban or Muslim ban. It restricted entry for citizens from several Muslim-majority countries. The ban caused widespread protests and legal challenges. It was criticized as discriminatory and contrary to American values. The stated rationale was to protect against terrorism. The Supreme Court eventually upheld a revised version of the ban. Though President Biden rescinded it in 2021, its effects linger. It damaged trust and created deep anxieties among affected communities. It also impacted America's image as a welcoming nation. Beyond formal bans, Muslim expats report other difficulties. These include lengthy delays in visa processing. Some experience intrusive questioning at ports of entry. There are concerns about profiling based on religion or national origin. While the U.S. has strong anti-discrimination laws, experiences vary. The political rhetoric in recent years has sometimes been divisive. This can fuel anti-Muslim sentiment in parts of society. Muslim civil rights organizations report ongoing incidents of prejudice. These can range from workplace discrimination to hate crimes. This creates a challenging environment for some. Despite these challenges, many Muslim expats thrive in the U.S. The country offers vast opportunities in education and employment. There are large, well-established Muslim communities across the nation. These communities provide support and a sense of belonging. Many American Muslims are actively involved in civic life. They contribute to all sectors of society. However, the legacy of past policies and ongoing societal prejudices remain. They require continued vigilance and advocacy from community leaders. The U.S. continues to navigate its complex relationship with its Muslim population and with those seeking to make it their new home. Section 7. Other notable nations. A wider lens on emerging patterns. The challenges faced by Muslim expats are not limited to a few countries. Similar patterns of restriction and debate emerge elsewhere. Several other European nations have seen growing concerns. Austria, for example, has implemented controversial policies. These include bans on headscarves for young girls in schools. The government has also moved to close certain mosques. These actions are framed as combating political Islam. However, critics see them as infringing on religious freedom. They argue such measures can alienate Muslim communities. This contributes to a climate of suspicion. In the Netherlands, debates on integration have been ongoing for years. The country was once known for its multiculturalism. However, the tone of public discourse has shifted. There is increased pressure on immigrants to assimilate. Policies have become stricter regarding family reunification. Language and civic integration tests are mandatory. While not explicitly targeting Muslims, these affect them significantly. The rise of far-right political parties has amplified anti-Islam rhetoric. This creates an environment where some Muslims feel less welcome. It adds to the broader European trend of questioning Muslim presence. Switzerland has also seen specific referendums with impact. A ban on the construction of new minarets was approved in 2009. More recently, a ban on full face coverings, including burqas, passed. These votes reflect public sentiment in parts of the population. They highlight anxieties about cultural change and religious visibility. Supporters argue these measures protect Swiss values and security. Opponents decry them as discriminatory and symbolic politics. They fear such bans fuel Islamophobia and hinder integration. These examples show how specific restrictions can gain popular support. They demonstrate the varied ways challenges manifest. Across the Asia-Pacific region, the situation is also diverse. Beyond China and India, other nations present mixed pictures. For instance, Myanmar's treatment of the Rohingya Muslim minority is dire. While not an expat issue per se, it reflects extreme religious persecution. In contrast, countries like Malaysia or Indonesia are Muslim majority. They offer different contexts for Muslim expats. However, even there, sectarian issues, or specific interpretations of Islam can arise. This brief overview shows the global nature of these concerns. It underscores the need for a nuanced understanding of each context. The experiences of Muslim expats vary widely across the globe. Section 1. The politics of fear, national security, and populist agendas. Political motivations often play a significant role in policy shifts against expatriate communities, including Muslims. Leaders find that firm stances on immigration resonate during social uncertainty or economic difficulty. Populist movements often coincide with nationalist rhetoric, leading to stricter immigration controls. National security is frequently cited to justify restrictions, especially from Muslim-majority countries. These policies can overshadow humanitarian considerations and economic benefits expatriates bring. Broad brush policies risk alienating communities and fostering resentment, undermining long-term security. The narrative of fear can be a powerful political tool, rallying support and diverting attention from domestic issues. Ultimately, these restrictions can corrode democratic values and increase social division. For Muslim expatriates, this often means heightened vulnerability and uncertainty. Section 2. Shifting societies, cultural identity, and integration debates. Many nations today are grappling with profound societal shifts. Increased global migration has led to more diverse populations than ever before. This diversity brings numerous benefits but also prompts discussions about national identity. Some feel their traditional culture is under threat. This sentiment is acute when immigrant communities have distinct practices. These anxieties often become central to public discourse. They fuel debates about belonging and common values. Secularism frequently lies at the heart of these debates. In countries like France, religious symbols like the hijab are contentious. Such displays challenge state neutrality or societal norms. These debates touch upon fundamental rights to religious freedom. For Muslim expats, navigating these expectations can be challenging. It may require them to constantly negotiate their identity. Integration is another significant area of contention. Some argue for assimilation, others for multiculturalism. The reality for many Muslim expats often lies somewhere in between. They may face pressures to conform while maintaining their heritage. Language barriers and discrimination can present obstacles. Government policies play a crucial role in inclusion or division. The media shapes perceptions about Muslim expats. News coverage can sometimes rely on stereotypes. This can contribute to a climate of suspicion and misunderstanding, making integration more difficult for ordinary Muslims. The spread of misinformation online complicates this landscape. Countering these narratives requires balanced representations. It also needs a greater effort to foster direct dialogue and understanding. Economic pressures often provide a fertile ground for anti-immigrant sentiment, affecting policies towards expatriates, including those from Muslim backgrounds. During economic slowdowns, native populations may feel increased anxiety about their financial futures. It becomes easier for political figures or media outlets to point fingers at immigrant communities. These groups can be unfairly blamed for taking jobs or straining public resources. This scapegoating deflects attention from complex economic problems or policy failures. The perception of job competition is a recurring theme in immigration debates. Some studies suggest immigrants fill jobs locals are unwilling or unable to do, or that they create new economic activity, but the fear of displacement persists. This concern is pronounced in sectors or regions experiencing economic hardship. Muslim expats may find themselves subject to these anxieties. Arguments to restrict their entry often oversimplify complex labor market dynamics, ignoring the skills and investment expats bring. Concerns about the impact on public services are frequently voiced. The argument posits that newcomers place an unsustainable burden on these resources, leading to a decline in quality or accessibility for native citizens. Growing populations require adequate infrastructure and service provision. The contribution of expats through taxes and economic activity is often overlooked. Restrictions can be discriminatory if they disproportionately target specific groups, like Muslim expats, without a clear, evidence-based assessment of their actual fiscal impact versus their contributions. Economic arguments for restrictive policies often veil deeper anxieties or prejudices. Framing the issue in economic terms can appear more rational and less overtly discriminatory. This approach can lead to unfair and economically counterproductive policies, depriving countries of valuable talent and diversity. Addressing genuine economic concerns requires comprehensive solutions for equitable growth and social support, rather than singling out specific communities as the source of problems. True economic strength comes from inclusion and harnessing everyone's potential. The international political landscape casts a long shadow on the experiences of Muslim expatriates around the world. Conflicts in Muslim-majority countries can significantly influence how Muslims are perceived globally. News of instability often dominates media coverage, leading to negative associations with Islam. Muslim expats may be viewed with suspicion due to events far away. This adds complexity to their efforts to build lives in new countries. Extremist groups claiming to represent Islam damage global perceptions. Their violence provides ammunition for those who generalize negatively about Islam. Terrorist attacks often spike anti-Muslim sentiment. This can lead to increased surveillance and stricter visa policies. Societies must counter terrorism while protecting Muslim communities' rights. Foreign policy decisions also play a crucial role. A country's relationship with Muslim-majority states can influence its domestic policies. Strained political relations can lead to greater scrutiny for expats. Strong alliances might lead to more favorable treatment. Geopolitical factors mean circumstances for Muslim expats vary significantly. Disentangling security concerns from Islamophobia is a critical challenge. It requires nuanced understanding and rejecting simplistic narratives. Security measures must be intelligence-led, not based on broad profiling. Muslim expats hope to be judged on their merits, not distant events. Continuous dialogue and education are essential to counter prejudice. Hearing directly from those affected provides invaluable insight into the real-world implications of these policies and societal attitudes. Muslim expatriates living in various countries have varied experiences, but common themes often emerge. Fatima, a software engineer from Pakistan working in Denmark, shares, "When I first arrived, I was excited about the opportunities here. Denmark is known for its high quality of life, and I was looking forward to contributing to the tech industry. However, navigating the immigration laws and facing subtle societal biases has been challenging. The ghetto laws specifically make me feel like I am constantly under scrutiny." In France, Khalid, a teacher from Morocco, describes his experience with the secular policies. "Teaching in a French public school, I am not allowed to wear my traditional attire. While I respect the law of the land, it feels like I am asked to choose between my profession and my faith. The pressure to conform to secular expectations is immense, and sometimes it feels like my identity is being eroded." His sentiment reflects a common struggle among Muslim expatriates in countries with strict secularism laws. In the United States, Aisha, a medical professional from Egypt, recounts the echoes of the travel ban. "When the travel ban was first announced, I was in the middle of my residency program. The uncertainty was terrifying. My family couldn't visit me, and there was always a fear of not being able to return if I left the country. Even now, after the ban has been lifted, the residual anxiety remains. It affects how we plan our lives and our sense of security." These personal stories highlight the complexities and emotional tolls that policies and societal attitudes can have on individuals. They underscore the importance of considering the human element behind the political and legal frameworks. Each story is a reminder that behind every policy debate are real people whose lives are directly impacted by these decisions. Hearing directly from those affected provides invaluable insight into the real-world implications of these policies and societal attitudes. Muslim expatriates living in various countries have varied experiences, but common themes often emerge. Fatima, a software engineer from Pakistan working in Denmark, shares, "When I first arrived, I was excited about the opportunities here. Denmark is known for its high quality of life, and I was looking forward to contributing to the tech industry. However, navigating the immigration laws and facing subtle societal biases has been challenging. The ghetto laws specifically make me feel like I am constantly under scrutiny." In France, Khalid, a teacher from Morocco, describes his experience with the secular policies. "Teaching in a French public school, I am not allowed to wear my traditional attire. While I respect the law of the land, it feels like I am asked to choose between my profession and my faith. The pressure to conform to secular expectations is immense, and sometimes it feels like my identity is being eroded." His sentiment reflects a common struggle among Muslim expatriates in countries with strict secularism laws. In the United States, Aisha, a medical professional from Egypt, recounts the echoes of the travel ban. When the travel ban was first announced, I was in the middle of my residency program. The uncertainty was terrifying. My family couldn't visit me, and there was always a fear of not being able to return if I left the country. Even now, after the ban has been lifted, the residual anxiety remains. It affects how we plan our lives and our sense of security. These personal stories highlight the complexities and emotional tolls that policies and societal attitudes can have on individuals. They underscore the importance of considering the human element behind the political and legal frameworks. Each story is a reminder that behind every policy debate are real people whose lives are directly impacted by these decisions. Hearing directly from those affected provides invaluable insight into the real-world implications of these policies and societal attitudes. Muslim expatriates living in various countries have varied experiences, but common themes often emerge. Fatima, a software engineer from Pakistan working in Denmark, shares, "When I first arrived, I was excited about the opportunities here. Denmark is known for its high quality of life, and I was looking forward to contributing to the tech industry. However, navigating the immigration laws and facing subtle societal biases has been challenging. The ghetto laws specifically make me feel like I am constantly under scrutiny." In France, Khalid, a teacher from Morocco, describes his experience with the secular policies. "Teaching in a French public school, I am not allowed to wear my traditional attire. While I respect the law of the land, it feels like I am asked to choose between my profession and my faith. The pressure to conform to secular expectations is immense, and sometimes it feels like my identity is being eroded." His sentiment reflects a common struggle among Muslim expatriates in countries with strict secularism laws. In the United States, Aisha, a medical professional from Egypt, recounts the echoes of the travel ban. "When the travel ban was first announced, I was in the middle of my residency program. The uncertainty was terrifying. My family couldn't visit me, and there was always a fear of not being able to return if I left the country. Even now, after the ban has been lifted, the residual anxiety remains. It affects how we plan our lives and our sense of security." These personal stories highlight the complexities and emotional tolls that policies and societal attitudes can have on individuals. They underscore the importance of considering the human element behind the political and legal frameworks. Each story is a reminder that behind every policy debate are real people whose lives are directly impacted by these decisions. Hearing directly from those affected provides invaluable insight into the real-world implications of these policies and societal attitudes. Muslim expatriates living in various countries have varied experiences. Muslim expatriates balance cultural identity and local norms daily. Layla in Norway explains, "I often explain my hijab. I feel like an outsider at social events." Ahmed in China faces subtle religious challenges. Practicing religion feels like a tightrope walk. Finding halal food and places to pray is difficult. Surveillance adds complexity. Samira in India feels the impact of the Citizenship Amendment Act. The act creates a concerning atmosphere. Heightened scrutiny impacts social interactions. Proving loyalty is exhausting. These stories show the daily realities of Muslim expatriates. Balancing integration and cultural identity is complex. Understanding these experiences fosters inclusivity. Despite challenges, many Muslim expatriates remain hopeful about their futures in their host countries. They contribute positively to their communities, finding support among fellow expats and open-minded locals. Rania, an architect from Tunisia, expresses optimism. "I believe in liberty, equality, and fraternity. Many French citizens advocate for inclusive policies. This gives me hope that change is possible and we can build a society where everyone feels valued." However, there are also significant fears and uncertainties. Mohammed, a tech entrepreneur from Turkey, voices concerns. The political climate can change rapidly. The travel ban experience has left a lasting impact. There's always a lingering fear of what might come next. This uncertainty makes long-term planning difficult. In Norway, Yasmin, a social worker from Somalia, speaks to the generational impact. "My biggest fear is for my children. I want them to grow up proud of their heritage and faith, but also to feel fully Norwegian. The immigration policies and societal attitudes will shape their identity and sense of belonging. I hope that by the time they are adults, there will be more acceptance and less of a divide. These hopes and fears reflect the broader aspirations and anxieties within the Muslim expat community. They highlight the need for policies that not only address security and economic concerns, but also foster social cohesion and mutual respect. Ensuring that Muslim expatriates feel secure, valued, and included is essential for building truly inclusive societies. Understanding and addressing these complexities requires ongoing dialogue, empathy, and a commitment to equity. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected, the experiences of Muslim expatriates offer valuable lessons on the importance of inclusivity and the potential for positive change. Some nations stand out for their inclusive policies and welcoming environments. Canada is often highlighted as a prime example. Known for its multiculturalism, Canada promotes diversity and inclusion. The Canadian Multiculturalism Act of 1988 recognizes cultural heritage and integration. This framework encourages cultural identities while contributing to the community. Canada's immigration system is transparent and fair. It focuses on skills and contributions, not ethnic or religious backgrounds. Cities like Toronto and Vancouver reflect this inclusivity. Numerous mosques, halal restaurants, and cultural centers support Muslim residents. New Zealand also ranks highly for its welcoming stance. The country is committed to human rights and immigrant support. Following the Christchurch attacks, New Zealand showed profound solidarity. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern's response highlighted the nation's commitment to inclusivity. Germany and Sweden also have robust integration policies. Germany offers comprehensive integration courses. These programs help immigrants understand and embrace German norms. Sweden ensures access to education, healthcare, and employment for all residents. Thriving multicultural communities enhance the safety and well-being of Muslim expatriates. Cities like London, Birmingham, and Manchester are known for their vibrant multiculturalism. These cities host significant Muslim populations and offer extensive community support networks. New expatriates can find support in social, religious, and professional networks. London's diverse neighborhoods provide a sense of familiarity and comfort. Malaysia is a welcoming destination for Muslim expats. It offers a unique blend of traditional and modern lifestyles. Cities like Kuala Lumpur and Penang are hubs of cultural diversity. The availability of halal food and religious facilities make Malaysia attractive. In the UAE, cities like Dubai and Abu Dhabi offer an international lifestyle. These cities are known for their cosmopolitan atmosphere and high standards of living. The UAE's laws and social practices encourage harmonious coexistence. Muslim expats find professional opportunities and a supportive community. Qatar has emerged as a significant destination for Muslim expatriates. The country invests in a welcoming environment for professional growth. Doha is a hub for expatriates from around the world. Qatar's policies promote religious freedom within an Islamic cultural framework. New arrivals can quickly find networks and resources to aid their integration. These examples highlight places where Muslim expatriates can live safely and thrive. Inclusive policies, robust support systems, and societal commitment to diversity are key. Understanding the challenges faced by Muslim expatriates is crucial. Policies and societal attitudes in countries like India, France, and the USA shape their lives. Recognizing these dynamics fosters empathy and better policies. Personal stories highlight the human impact, urging inclusive environments. This understanding enriches perspectives and promotes a more inclusive global community. As we move forward, it is essential to translate understanding into action. Advocacy and awareness play pivotal roles in addressing the challenges faced by Muslim expatriates and ensuring their rights and dignity are upheld. This begins with supporting policies that promote inclusivity and protect against discrimination. Governments and institutions must be held accountable for implementing fair and transparent immigration processes, fostering integration through supportive measures rather than punitive ones, and ensuring equal opportunities for all residents. Public awareness campaigns are equally important. Educating the broader society about the contributions of Muslim expatriates and dispelling myths and misconceptions can significantly reduce prejudice and foster a more welcoming environment. This involves leveraging media platforms, community outreach programs, and educational initiatives to promote positive narratives and highlight success stories. By showcasing the diverse roles that Muslim expatriates play in various fields, from technology and healthcare to education and business, we can counter negative stereotypes and build a more inclusive societal outlook. Moreover, fostering dialogue between different communities is crucial. Interfaith and intercultural exchanges can break down barriers, build mutual understanding, and create networks of support. These initiatives not only benefit Muslim expatriates but enrich the entire community by promoting diversity and inclusion. Local governments, community organizations, and civil society must work together to create platforms for such interactions, ensuring that everyone has a voice in the conversation. Finally, individual actions matter. Each of us can contribute to a more inclusive society by challenging discriminatory behaviors, supporting inclusive policies, and being allies to those facing prejudice. Small acts of kindness and support can have a significant impact on those feeling marginalized. By standing in solidarity with Muslim expatriates and advocating for their rights, we contribute to a more just and equitable world. In conclusion, understanding the realities faced by Muslim expatriates and advocating for their rights is not just a matter of policy, but a moral imperative. It calls for collective action, empathy, and a commitment to equity. By promoting awareness, supporting inclusive policies, and fostering intercultural dialogue, we can ensure that Muslim expatriates, and indeed all expatriates, are welcomed, valued, and able to thrive in their new homes. Let us commit to building a world where diversity is celebrated and everyone can live with dignity and respect.